cops claiming LAPD football program has hazing and assault. What is going on here? Well, I'll tell you, okay? Unarmed, unnamed rather. They're rarely unarmed, but unnamed LAPD officers joining 3 others in an ongoing lawsuit alleging sexual assaults during hazing rituals. We're talking about gang activity here. That's what a gang initiation would be. Allegations, but we're talking about gang conduct with LAPD named as the perpetrators. The names, both the city and LAPD Centurion Corporation football team as defendants against allegations of sexual battery, sexual harassment, retaliation, and negligence. 3 other officers who chose also filed a lawsuit anonymously claimed to have experienced separate but similar hazing rituals in 2006, 2007, 2009, following team practices that took place on weekends at the athletic field at Bishop Moore Salesian High School. This is in Boyle Heights. In an anonymous statement to NBC4, the newest defendant said, quote, "I didn't want to die with this on my conscience. I realize that whatever happens, happens, and I'm comfortable with that. As a police officer, why am I afraid to report what happened to me to the cops? We know why. How can I expect any civilian or citizens to report crimes? It was an ethical decision in many regards." Again, NBC4 with the reporting. According to the suit, the claim contends that one day after practice, veteran teammates instructed the rookies to head to the locker room where 10 to 15 young officers were herded into a small room and prevented from leaving. Rookies were selected one at a time to be taken away. He heard yelling, laughing, crying, and screams of pain echoing into the room until he was the last one left, he says. As he entered a dimly lit locker room, allegedly confronted by roughly 30 to 40 LAPD officers who screamed at him, ordered him to strip naked. When he refused and resisted, he says officers allegedly bombarded him with liquid and objects. LAPD says it does not generally comment on lawsuits. However, the now outgoing chief of police, Michael Moore, said, quote, "We're going to conduct a full investigation. I have every confidence that investigation will turn over every rock or every bit of information possible to determine the validity or the truth of what's been alleged." It's just, I apologize for the tone, Tanner. Michael Morrison, the group's attorney, said, quote, "This is a lawsuit alleging that the city of LA and the LAPD fostered an environment where their football team engaged in ritualized and sexualized abuse and hazing of rookie football players for a number of seasons. The LAPD Centurion Corporation, nor President James Norton, have yet to make any public comment on the suit." Now, here's what bothers me, and I understand why, by definition, they're calling it this, but I didn't hear anything about hazing. I heard about men, perhaps others, who wear the badge, engaging in brutal crimes like rape, sexual abuse. That's what I heard. And that's how I prefer that it be referred to, so that there's no misunderstanding about how serious this is and what needs to happen next. The reason I inappropriately chuckled during the statement by the outgoing chief is because I find it so often, anecdotally, hogwash, okay? Do you really plan to investigate this fully? Look under every rock? It's been going on for, quote, several seasons. This gang violence and sexual abuse, the allegation is. I don't think it's a secret, but that's just me, Senator. It's your turn.
Ooh, Sister Reed, you are so right on this. It's sick. I mean, that's the four-letter word among other things, but that's the one I can say on air. It's really sick. And insiders know that this activity has been going on for a very long time. They have been covering it up. And you're right, this particular section of the LAPD police, they are comporting themselves like a gang. And why do you need that kind of activity to have a football team? I want to commend the officer who had the courage to come forward, because Sharon, as you and I both know, and I'm sure many of our viewers understand, that when you are a part of law enforcement, they protect each other at all costs, even if it is illegal or immoral activity. And one of the reasons why officers on the inside of these departments, be they state, federal, local, or regional, do not come forward often is because you won't be protected. See, that's the threat. If you do have a consciousness as somebody that works in law enforcement and you want to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God, about what is transpiring inside these departments when it is not favorable to said department, if you are the one to come forward, your brethren, your sisterin, they will threaten you to not protect you on the streets. And that, Sharon, is a very scary proposition when they are confronting people who may be a threat, to
That's
know
right.
that they won't have your back. That's why the majority of them do not come forward. So as this officer who did come forward said, let the chips fall where they may. See, that's basically what that person is saying. I won't
Yeah.
be protected anymore.
Your
But this
life
is
is in
sick.
danger.
That's
It's
right. Your life is in
sick.
danger. It's sick.
So, Senator, there's been no trial, no civil trial. These are allegations. I would like to see a criminal trial here. I don't need any trial, though, to declare that the LAPD is complicit.
That's it.
They did this and they know all about it. And do you know how I, a private citizen, can declare this? The anonymous lawsuit is the proof. The anonymous lawsuit is the proof here. Okay? That's what it is. I don't believe the officer filed it anonymously because this officer is concerned about the stigma of this kind of sexual abuse. I believe the officer filed it anonymously and others joined in because of exactly what you said. My life is in danger. I can't die with this on my conscience. I mean, these are quite troubling declarations here. This is sick, is the quote, Senator. And I agree with you. I agree with your quote.
Yeah.
What will be done about this? Stop putting out these ridiculous statements about what you're going to do to investigate. This should have never hit the public's eye. You should have already been on top of it, but
That's
you
right.
don't want to. You want to protect this kind of abuse.
That's
The
it.
last word is
And
yours.
somebody needs to be fired. A group of somebody's need to be
Yeah.
fired. And your declaration also fits with the pattern and the history of how this police department comports itself over time. See, this ain't the first complaint. It's not just about this football team. They have a history of abuse that goes back decades. So they're being true to form. Unfortunately, we wouldn't think that this would be happening on a football team, but it is. And so some heads need to roll. Some people need to be fired. And as Dr. Richey often talks about, who at the top, who is responsible and what is the culture that's being created, that has been created within this police department that makes them think that they can comport themselves like this, whether it's a football team or otherwise. Sharon Reed, that's how we know, because we're following the past patterns and practices of this police department.
Trickle down, unethical, immoral, and in this case, I believe criminal activity. And this is just one lane of disgusting abuse. When people tell you they've been abused, they've been pulled over, they've been attacked, To me, it just lends credence. This is Indisputable, alongside the wonderful guest host, professor, senior fellow, Institute of Race, Power, and Political Economy. The former state senator, royalty to us, is our guest host today, Senator Nina Turner. Honored to be alongside her.